Okay, so as many of you already know, I'm a huge Dexter and Breaking Bad fan, and rewatching the series last year and this year, I watched the entire Dexter and Breaking Bad series again uh, last year in 2024 and this year in 2025, and I realized there's something very similar in both shows, and it's that Debra and Jesse Pinkman both suffer because of Dexter and Walter White. And there's this really good video I saw a little bit ago where it's said that like if Walter White and Heisenberg are like God the Father, then Jesse Pinkman is like Jesus Christ, because Jesse suffers suffers like Jesus just because of his righteousness. And of course, Jesse is tortured, etc., by the neo-Nazi gang in season 5, and he basically gets out of the meth business because of Todd killing that innocent kid back in season 5. So they have this. There's this really good video. I think The Take is the channel where it says the video's titled "Jesse Lived for Your Sins," and it's a really good video that shows that Jesse really suffers because of Walt's sins, because of Walt's mistakes. Well, rewatching Dexter, I realized that this is the same. The same can be said about Debra Morgan. She suffers because of the mistakes and sins of Dexter Morgan. And this really starts now. Again, this really starts in season 7 and season 8, because Debra only knew about Dexter in those two seasons 7 and 8. So she suffers because of the secret, or because when she finds out Dexter's secret. So she suffered. Jesse suffered a lot, or Jesse suffered more than Debra, because Jesse was always. Jesse knew about Walter White from the very beginning. He knew that he was Heisenberg. And of course, he went through a lot because of what Walter White put him through. But I think there's a similarity, because both Debra and Jesse are people who suffer the most because of Dexter. Now let's start with Debra Morgan. This all started in season 7 when she found out about Dexter's secret. Now, I really like Jennifer Carpenter's acting, because I really think that if a woman found out that a man she loved is involved in crime and she didn't know what to do about it, she would react like Debra would react. So this is a very, very good actress, Jennifer Carpenter. I think, she was really good as Debra Morgan. I can't imagine anybody else playing that role of Debra Morgan other than Jennifer Carpenter. I mean, the casting of her was spot on. Now, she finds out in season 7, and she suffers after she shoots LaGuerta. She kills an innocent, like Maria LaGuerta, who's, I'm not really a big fan of her on the show, but she dies because of Dexter. And the person who killed her was Debra Morgan, and this is where everything spirals out of control for Debra, because when Debra finds out his secret, she can't handle it that well. She can't just kill somebody and then just be on with her day, because she's not a sociopath or a psychopath like Dexter is. She really has to, her process, she can't really move on from it, right? Like when she kills LaGuerta, she can't move on from it for the majority of season 8. It's only in, I think, the last 3 episodes that she completely forgets about it, and she tries to become more normal in the last 3 episodes of Dexter season 8. But tragically, she's shot and she dies because of Oliver Saxton. Remember, Oliver shoots her. So like her life actually got a lot worse when she found out about Dexter's killing, or Dexter's secret life as a Dexter's secret life as a serial killer. She really suffers a lot, and she doesn't know what to do, because she's kind of being a hypocrite, because she knows a real serial killer, but she's not going to turn him in. She's not going to arrest him. So so that's that. I really like season 7 because it really shows that she doesn't know like what to do with Dexter. And season 8, she really suffers because of Dexter. She has to leave her job, and she has to get a new job at some Elway's investment or Elway's investigations. So she suffers a lot in season 8, especially killing LaGuerta. Now getting to and then we all know Debra dies because of Oliver Saxton. Oliver shoots and kills her, and Dexter is devastated by her death. Now, Debra would have survived if she didn't know about Dexter's secret. I think if she didn't find out about Dexter killing Travis Marshall, she would actually be fine. She would actually be okay. She would have been promoted to, she would have stayed lieutenant, and she would have really, she probably would have ended up, I don't know, marrying Quinn or something. I don't know. And she would have had her happily ever after if she didn't find out about Dexter's secret. But her emotions kept getting in the way, and she really was attached to Dexter. And remember when she was going to Professor Love for Dexter, she found him killing Travis Marshall. So she finds out because she has too much of an attachment to Dexter, and that was the beginning of her downfall. That was the beginning of that led to her tragic death at the hands of Oliver Saxton. Because if it wasn't for Debra finding out about Dexter's secret, she would have lived a long and happy life. Probably got married to Quinn, etc. That's just my theory or my guess, but everything got messed up because of Dexter. She found out about Dexter, and she paid the ultimate price, which her getting shot and her dying at the hands of Oliver Saxton, or getting brain dead, and then Dexter having no choice but to kill her, no choice but to take her off life support and kill her because he didn't want her to suffer, some kind of brain dead life. So she was dead anyways. It can be argued that Oliver killed her. She was dead anyways. Dexter just sped up the process. So she was dying anyways. And the reason why is because of Oliver. Now, getting to Jesse Pinkman suffers I think from the very first episode, he suffers because of Walter White. If you watch the show, Jesse is tortured. He's beat up. He loses both of his girlfriends because of Walter White. Jesse's life actually gets a lot worse when he meets Walter White. Even when the first episode, remember when Emilio and what's the other guys? The other guy's names, Emilio and his cousin, beat up Jesse. And, of course, there's all kinds of problems Jesse faces in season 2 when, Hank takes away all his money and, he's homeless. And then, he has to move into the duplex with Jane. And then Combo dies because of Walter White's persistence, and Jesse starts using again, and then Jane starts using, and Jane dies because of Walter White. In season 3 and season 4, Jesse is tortured by Gus, or there's some issues with Gus, and Jesse is forced to kill an innocent man, Gale, to protect Walter White, and it's just a very tragic and sad downfall for Jesse, because Jesse doesn't want to kill people, innocent people like Gale, etc. And even in El Camino, Jesse doesn't want to kill the police officer, the people who are posing as police officers. He says he's no cop killer. So Jesse obviously suffers a lot because of Walter White throughout the series. Season 5 is where it gets really bad, where he's kidnapped and forced to make meth as some kind of meth-making slave for those neo-Nazis that Todd was with. And, of course, Todd kills Andrea, etc. So Jesse suffers a lot in seasons 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. It's either by Walter White, or it's either by Gus, or it's either by Todd, etc. Because I think the people who tortured Jesse the most was probably Walter White and Todd and the neo-Nazis. But I think the whole reason why Jesse was kidnapped was because of Walter White. Walter White ratted him out, and Ozymandias, and Jessie was taken captive because of Walter White ratting him out or telling on him. So we can see that these two characters suffer, both Debra and Jessie, because of Dexter and Walter White. And that's a really interesting similarity I noticed between these two. What do you guys think?